Hi, my name's Sam Crasweller and I'm here today to talk to you about my lifetime association and friendship and love of this teddy bear. His name's Red Ted. Say hi, Red Ted. Hi. Okay, so Red Ted came into my life in 1965 when I was born. I've got a picture here of, this is I'm sorry about the light, but this is my grandmother and my dad, and that's my Auntie Jill when she was younger. Now, she's the one who gave Red Ted to me when I was born. And as proof of that, I happen to have a picture when I was probably about, I suppose, I look about 2-3 months old maybe. Sorry about the light again, but if you can see down, I don't know how to hold it. You see down here, that's Red Ted. There he is. And new Sam, new Red. Another picture, this one's a bit bigger, easier to see. And there you are. New Sam and a very new Red Ted. Let's put it closer up to the... There you go, there he is. Okay, and then to introduce you to my dad as well. Yeah, there's my dad and my brother. And moi. Okay, so why is Red important to me? Well, I've had him all my life. I've slept with him pretty much every night of my life, apart from, the times that I've slept at other people's places. He's always been under my pillow. He's travelled the world with me. My parents did a lot of travelling when I was young. We were immigrants from when I was 4. We went backwards and forwards to England 8 times. And yeah, as I travelled later in life, he also travelled with me. So he travelled so much when I was a kid that I actually made him a passport. I think I made that when I was about 7. For one of the trips when we were returning to England. You can see there it is, Red Ted, British passport, the little number, and you can open it, and there's the little British Citizen pledge, and here's his picture and his passport number. Bearer of passport, Red Ted. Okay, I spent a lot of time making this thing. And there you go, surname Ted, forenames Red, birth date. I've actually got the 25th of the 12th, 1965. So he was probably a Christmas present from Auntie Jill. Okay, and that was when we were living at Linford Drive in Basildon in Essex. And when I went back a few years later, I took a photo. So this is the house that I was born in, and this is the house where Red and I first fell in love. I was looking back at the passport to see what else I've got there that might tell me. Our distinguishing marks are his red nose, and he's a foot tall. Okay, and so yeah, date of issue 1979. So that would actually have been when I was 13. So the last time we came back to Australia, yeah, I made a passport for him. And I remember going through customs in Britain and Australia, and there's his signature down the bottom. I remember going through customs to my parents and showing them the passport and asking if I could get a stamp, and they were lovely, and of course I thought it was wonderful, but they wouldn't allow a stamp, so I just copied my mum and dad's stamps into the passport. Yeah, from London to Australia, 11/7/79. So that's the last time he travelled with me and my parents. He, of course, has been to America, back to Britain twice, all over Europe with me since. Okay, and my favourite memory of him probably is the constant friendship that he's given me. I feel like he knows me better than anyone else in the world. Whenever I've had troubles, whenever I wanted a friend, Red Ted, I have talked to him. You'll notice that he no longer has his ears. That's because here they are. This is the original material. These are his original ears. You can see that it's quite a beautiful, fine red velour. I don't know how well you can see it on this webcam, but yes, very soft, very lovely. And so I've kept his ears. I've been told since he's actually a dog, and now I look at him, I think he probably might be a dog, because he doesn't look much like a Ted, does he? He doesn't look much like he used to look at all. And this is because over the years I loved him so much, and I cuddled him so much, slept with him so much, that he would get threadbare. Like actually was full of straw, and the bits of straw started poking out of his feet, and so my mum popped new feet on him. She didn't take the old feet off. She would just put little, new feet on, new hands on him. Eventually his face wore out, so she put a new face on him. This is one of the coverings you can see that she put on him. And if you look underneath, you see there he is. There's the original Red Ted in there with the original fur. Underneath all of this crazy constant rehashing of red is the real red. Right, I just got some notes here I'm referring to, so please bear with me. Yeah, so over the years, he's travelled over 100,000 kilometres with me, this teddy bear. That's how much he's meant to me. I haven't been able to go anywhere or feel safe without him, because he is the one permanent feature in my life, because I've been quite a traveller and, yeah, sometimes quite itinerant. I've had to let go of a lot of stuff in my life, but I've always had Red, so he's the one thing I've had since I was born, and I still have now. Even my christening necklaces, all those sort of things got lost over the years. As an adult, he became my confidant when times were tough. I would go to bed at night time, and some people pray to God, and I would tell Red when he had his ears, I would lay in bed and tell Red my issues of the day, or my happiness for the day, or my hopes for the future, or my worries about the future. So this teddy bear knows more about me than any other human being. So yeah, he means a lot to me. When my daughter was about 10, kids are like, they want a pet. We took on a rescue dog. And it was a sort of a bit of an urban terrier, a bit of a heel across, and he was a lovely, lovely dog. But me not thinking or not knowing the nature of dogs, because I hadn't really ever owned a dog before, I'd leave the back door open so he could come and go while I was out and while I was taking my daughter to school. And so one day I came home and he had decided that Red was something he was going to eat. And he ate Red's eyes off, he tore off bits of his face, and it was absolutely heartbreaking for me. I mean, I didn't know what to do. I'm a terrible sewer. I was very poor at the time as a single mother, and so I just continued to love him with all his bits hanging off and his eyes gone. As my sight began to fail, while I was writing my PhD, as you do, spending 15 hours a day at a computer, I began to relate to Red having no eyes as my beginning to lose my sight. So there's some interesting things that sort of happened that I relate to him about that. Probably the biggest thing is that 3 years ago I had a surfing accident, and I was actually caught in I was dumped into a wave, and dumped my head on the sand severally, nearly knocked myself out. But the result of that was that I ended up with a injury to my ear, quite badly injured, and this terrible, terrible, terrible pain that was so debilitating. I couldn't do anything, and I basically went to bed for over a year while I was going to see doctors and seeing what they could do for it. The ear, nose and throat hospital at RPA, they were wonderful. They gave me every test in the world, and after about 18 months of testing, they came up with the idea that what I'd done was I had quite badly damaged my head at the time, and I'd done some nerve damage, and that was never going to go away. While this was going on, Red Ted's ears that have become, so threadbare, and you can see the sort of quite torn at the top of me, they came off. So I had a teddy bear with no eyes and no ears, and I had this thing with my ear, so this bond between me and Red. I would look at Red and I think, you represent who I am. You with your no eyes, you with your no ears, this is what I have become. Now recently, I'm not sure how nerves work in your head, but I've had a recovery, and the pain is getting better and better. I'm not having to go and see the specialist anymore, and I'm not having to take any medication for my ear pain anymore, which is absolutely fantastic. And I had my teeth fixed. I had terrible crooked English teeth, and you can probably see the bottom teeth still need doing, but I found a really compassionate dentist, because it was going to be $15,000 to have them veneered, and I told him my story, and I think he just took pity upon me, and he veneered the front teeth for me, and you can see then I became confident about smiling for the first time, and I've been able to go back to work. I started working again, and my life has just changed. I've got a lot more confidence. I am embracing life again, and I'm really feeling that I can go forth. And having written my doctorate, I am now looking forward to writing that up as a screenplay, and hopefully in the future getting someone to take that on, because it's a fantastic story, and I would really like to work on with a screenwriter and have that written up. So where am I now? When I got better, I looked at Red and I thought, you are the old damaged me. You represent this person who had an ear problem, who had a vision problem, and was just tattered and torn up and worn out and used up, and pretty much had it. So I went to Spotlight and I got all this material, and I decided, which is a pretty silly decision because I'm a terrible, terrible seller, that I would recover him. And so you can see I've done this terrible job. I got the wrong material for a start. He's never been this fat, and this is another thing. I actually got quite fat while I was sick. I've just lost 17 kilos in the last 3 months, so I'm a little skinny me, little waif that I've always been. And so Red, that while I was sick, he was my therapy. Fixing him was my therapy, and I did a terrible job, and I was really upset with the job that I did. I feel like I've ruined him even. I would rather have him threadbare than the way he is at the moment. And you can see, yeah, under there, that's the material my mum covered him with, which is this material here. But yeah, as I said before, underneath all of that, and you can see how happy I am to have him restored, is right now, there we go, I'm actually going to tear a bit of that old material off so you can see his beautiful velour head underneath. You can also see the original straw. That's the original straw from his head. Now, the whole of his body was straw, as it would make a good teddy bear back in those days. And he used to also have this squeaker. You could press him like this, and he'd go, oh, 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 oh. So, obviously, he's a dog. But, over the years, because I loved him so much and squeezed him so much, the little spring at the back of the squeaker started to stick out of his back. So my mum took the squeaker out. So, yeah, that's my story of Red. And it becomes, when my friend showed me the link to this show, and that you could have things restored, and I just thought that, my God, if I could have Red restored, he could be like me. He could have a new lease on life, and it would complete me in a way that I can't describe, because my connection with him is so strong. And when I look at him now, I look at the old, as I said before, broken me. And the idea that tomorrow I could be holding him and he would again be skinny and again have a nice velour skin, and sorry, but yes, it really would mean more than I could possibly articulate, that I could restore Red's life in a way I have restored my own. Please excuse the emotion, but yeah, he needs a new lease on life. So if you could possibly, I've never had the faith to just take him to one of those teddy bear shops, because I was always just worried that they'd stuff it up. And but I'm ready now. I'm ready to take that chance, because it's better than seeing him like this. So yeah, that's how much it would mean to me. And then, of course, when I pass, when my time's over, he would be passed on to my daughter, because she's never known me to be without Red. So he has a sense of permanence in her life too. And he symbolises to her how much love I have in my heart, and what a softie I am underneath my kind of, little rock and roll exterior, whatever it is. But, yeah, so he means quite a lot to her, and I know that she would treasure him, and that she would pass him on to. Okay, so I'm getting a little bit too emotional right now, so I think I'll end my story, and I'll say goodbye from Red. This is the eye I bought at Spotlight, and just I will add, this is the eye I bought at Spotlight, and I've just recently, my new rescue dog decided that he must be a dog, because dogs have a thing for him, chewed off the other eye, and as you can see, I think some of the stuffing is actually starting to come out of where I sewed the eye into. So, yeah, poor old Red's in a real state, and I'm not. And I would like us both to continue on our lives together, whole. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to tell my story about Red. And yeah, have a great day, guys. Thank you so much.